Apparo Tutorials. Setting up lookup widgets. We start with the explanation, what is a lookup? Here we see an unformatted business case that accesses a database table. This table is the target table of the business case, and the user can already insert or edit data in this table. As you can see, some columns contain only numbers, like here the product line. In a separate table, the lookup table, names for the product lines are assigned to these numbers. With lookup widgets, the numbers can be replaced by the names, and the users can work with it easily. If the user changes or adds a value, then the process is reversed, and the product line ID, related to the product line name, is stored in the target table. In this tutorial we will show how to set up lookup widgets. Lookup widgets are available as filtering widgets, and also as editing widgets. In the filter area you can use lookup multi-select widgets, and lookup drop-down widgets, and also simple multi-select and simple drop-down widgets. Let's take a look at the differences. Drop-down and multi-select widgets have a simple and a lookup version. The simple version reads the widget output values directly from the underlying target table. All business case filters are applied automatically. Only output values are stored in the mapped column. The lookup version reads the output values from a separate lookup table. Business case filters are not applied. Only key values are stored in the mapped column. The editing widgets include lookup dropdowns, simple dropdowns, and multi-select lookups that differ from the multi-select lookup of the filter widgets. This widget type is explained in the second part of this tutorial. Let's run the business case. Multi-select widgets allow you to select one or more values. And drop-down widgets allow you to select exactly one value. The simple variants of both widgets look the same, but as already mentioned, they only use existing values of the target table. Let's look at the basic definition of a lookup widget. The widget for the column product line ID is of type multi-select lookup. In mapping and other, you can set or change the mapping of this widget to the corresponding database table column. Which means, the widget is reading and writing from or into this database column. Default values in filter widgets are used to pre-filter the data when the business case is started. All types of variables are allowed. They can be accessed using this button. You can also use fixed values. Multi-select widgets allow more than one default value, separated by commas. Also possible is the use of product line names, using the parameter, use labels. The parameter and other useful information can be seen when activating the description mode, by clicking the green button. Descriptions are available for all features and settings in the Apparo Designer. Once started, the data is filtered by product lines, caps and trousers. The user can still change the filter. And when resetting the filter, the defaults are set again. In Lookup, drop-down and multi-select, you can set the connection to the lookup table. Only the key value of the product line is stored in the column product line ID, the corresponding output value is read from the lookup table. This is the output of a lookup table. Lookup tables consist of at least one column for the key value, and one column for the output value. At runtime, the key value is replaced by the output value. This is only for output purposes. If users are entering or changing the product line, only the key values will be stored. Our example lookup table consists of two output value columns in different languages. Let's check the settings in detail. You can use the same database connection as the business case, or another one. The lookup table can also be stored in a completely different database. In lookup table you can select the table. In join lookup table key to target table, you can select the key column. It is also possible to have the same column for key and output value. If the lookup table has the same structure as ours, several output value columns, marked at the end by the code of the language, then you can use the language variable. Based on the set language of the user, the appropriate column is then selected automatically. In multi-value order by, you can set the sort order of the values in the multi-select. And in lookup table sort column, you can select the column that will be used. In SQL where condition you can filter the selection list of the lookup. We will show an example later in this tutorial. Distinct eliminates redundancies, and the values are only displayed once. Show only options used in the target table, eliminates all options that would not produce results when filtering. In tab visual, you can set the number of visible rows. Lookup drop-down widgets have additional settings. In the Mapping and Others tab, you can set an operator other than the default is equal. And in tab Lookup, drop-down and multi-select, you can specify a column with user-defined operators. This feature extends the possibilities of lookup drop-downs. It consists of a key column, and an output name column. And besides the standard mapping, key 1 is white, key 7 is black, you can add custom drop-down list items. We also added key 8, which is show all colors. In the separate operator column, we have stored, is not null. If the user now selects the entry, show all colors in the lookup drop-down, all colors will be filtered accordingly. In the Features tab, under Other, you will find the setting, lookup values must be loaded at business case start time automatically. When enabled, the lookup values will be cached, which improves the lookup performance. The disadvantage: you cannot use widget reference variables of other filter lookups, in the SQL where condition. The setting, user can enter into widget for selecting a value, serves as a filter for the lookup list. The dependent setting case insensitive can also be used. In the Lookup, drop-down and multi-select tab, you will find 3 more settings for the Enter into Widget feature. The setting, all values in the result list of the lookup, are used for filtering automatically, turns the lookup filter into a combined lookup and text filter. If the user enters a filter text and clicks the search button, without selecting an entry from the list, all matching results are shown. This feature requires as operator, like autocomplete enabled, shows all matching entries, while the user types. With automatically use wildcards at the begin and end, the user has not to do it manually. The setting, minimum characters to show autocomplete, sets the number of required characters. 1 means, it starts with the first letter. The setting, maximum number of options to display, limits the drop-down list for the entered number. High values can lead to poorer widget performance. Users can't reasonably select the desired option, by scrolling through a huge list of options. This setting is for performance optimization only, and has no effect on filtered drop-down options. We run the business case with all settings enabled. We type in a small t, and it shows all entries containing a T. Next letter A, and there are only 2 list entries left. With this feature, the user can easily select the desired entries from very large result lists. If the user now clicks on Search without selecting an option, then both values will be searched for. If you use the Lookup drop-downs as editing widgets, additional settings are available. The setting default value is available for both filtering and editing widgets, but the setting constant value is available for editing Lookup widgets only. Constant values are always applied, the user cannot change this value. Variables are allowed. You can use the options, use constant value in insert case only, or in insert and update case. Both can be dependent on a variable that must return true to activate the constant value. Also possible are constant values based on the user's security groups. The default value is used here as a suggestion. The user can select other values. Further details on default and constant values can be found in our tutorial video of the same name. With the setting, write data immediately when user is changing the widget's value, the form or list view doesn't submit when using the lookup. With this feature you can create dynamic forms, and will be explained in detail in the tutorial video about dynamic forms. The setting, accept the lookup key value as import value to, is an additional setting for the Excel import. If disabled, the Excel import only accepts the output value. The setting, show an already selected value, which isn't in the selectable list of values, shows existing list entries, even if they are not available in the current list. An example is the status of workflows. The user has set the option ready for approval. The approver sees this status, but only approved and rejected are available in his selection list. The setting SQL where condition serves as filter for the lookup. The complete SQL select is, select column from table where, followed by the filter condition for the select. This setting expects only the condition after the where. The first part of the select must not be entered here. The SQL where condition includes a table column picker, and also a selection of SQL operators. Variables are allowed, and easily selectable via the variables picker. This filter condition now filters the selection of the products by the product line, selected in the lookup widget, product line. Syntax check validates the filter condition. We run the business case and have made the option list of the product lookup dependent on the selection of the product line. The list of product options is empty because we have not selected a product line. When selecting product line caps, we see in the product option list all products assigned to product line caps. It is possible to make the filter condition optional, which means, if a contained variable is empty, in this case the product line, then everything in the optional tag should be ignored. The optional tag is described in the help text of the SQL where condition. If the product line is empty, the filter condition is ignored, and displays all options. Once the product line is selected, the product option displays the corresponding products. On business case level, in tab Visual, you will find the performance mode setting. You can set here that lookup drop-down widgets are optimized. This feature can help to improve the business case performance, when using many lookup widgets with variable filter conditions. In most cases, users are changing only one, or a few values. The lookup is processed when the user activates it. Then changes are possible. Questions? Send an email to support@apparo.solutions.